Our next Bible lesson for today is from Psalm 118. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. Shouts of joy and victory resound in the tents of the righteous. The Lord's right hand has done mighty things. The Lord's right hand is lifted high. The Lord's right hand has done mighty things. I will not die, but live, and will proclaim what the Lord has done. The Lord has chastened me severely, but he has not given me over to death. Open for me the gates of righteousness. I will enter and give thanks to the Lord. This is the gate of the Lord through which the righteous may enter. I will give you thanks, for you answered me. You have become my salvation. The stone the builders rejected has become the capstone. The Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. How many of you are traveling this Thanksgiving? Going across town or going maybe far away to see friends? Travelers? A lot of people will be out there on the roads, in the skies. But I wonder, what if you could time travel? Would you change your plans? I wonder how many of us would stay here in Thanksgiving 2009. This really hasn't been the greatest year for many of us. Would you go back to celebrate Thanksgiving in another time? Go back to the good old days? Author A.J. Jacobs tried to do that for his family this year by recreating the original Pilgrim's Thanksgiving of 1621, right down to the recipes, the games, and even the jokes. His 4-year-old had asked if the Pilgrims had SpongeBob in their Thanksgiving parade. And so Dad thought it was time to treat his family to a real old-fashioned Thanksgiving. With the help of Richard Pickering, the head of Plymouth Plantation Historical Site in Massachusetts, he started searching the stores for the correct foods. Do you have any eel? What about black carrots? Orange carrots weren't invented till the 1700s. How about swan? The records say only that the Pilgrims ate wildfowl. It doesn't say whether it was turkey or duck or swan or passenger pigeon. The stores didn't have any swan, but Jacobs did manage to get a duck, wild turkey, and venison. The Wampanoag Indians had brought 5 deer to the feast. And once he got all of his groceries together, he set about roasting and boiling everything, just as the Pilgrims had done. No sautéing, no stir-frying, and no forks either. The Pilgrims didn't have them. Only your hands, spoons, and knives. Pickering brought a book of manners from that time, and Jacob read to his family the rules for eating. Save teeth picking until later. Moderate your spitting. No smacking your lips like hogs. While sitting, do not move back and forth, lest your fellow diners think you are breaking wind. Well, the family's verdict on the dinner was that it was not awful, but you sure wouldn't be tempted to overeat. And after dinner, it was time for some Pilgrim era riddles. What goes over the water and under the water, but doesn't get wet? The family guessed a tunnel, an early submarine. Nope. It's a duck's egg that's still inside the duck. I guess you had to be there in 1621. And then came the Pilgrim Games. They ran races, so the Jacobs family ran races. Well, they used We Fit jogging, but it was close. And the Pilgrims shot guns, and so the family shot guns, squirt guns. And they played also that old-time Pilgrim favorite, Kick the Shins. Now, some of you have already played it. You know, I thought you were kind of of that age, but, No, kick the shins is just as you might imagine it. You stand in a tight circle and kick one another in the shins until only one person is left standing. I guess after you've come through a year of starvation and watched half your friends and family die of malnutrition and disease, a game like that doesn't seem so hard. Yeah, that first Thanksgiving really wasn't as perfect as we might make it out to be. But there was something there to be thankful for. They had survived a horrible year. They had food to eat, and games to play. And they could say, back in 1621, as the psalmist said in 118, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Now, maybe playing kick the shins is not the kind of old-fashioned Thanksgiving that you want to go back to. But is there another Thanksgiving that you would choose to travel to this year if you could time travel? Maybe a Thanksgiving from your youth. My brothers and I didn't play kick the shins, but we were no less violent. Back in the Thanksgivings of my youth, back in the 70s, Thanksgiving meant football in the park behind Mom's house. And this wasn't the wimpy touch football that we made our kids play. This was no holds barred, full out, no pads tackle football. It's amazing that we weren't all permanently crippled. And then when dinner was ready, or we got tired, or somebody was bleeding too badly, we would head inside where Mom had what I still think of today as a real old-fashioned Thanksgiving dinner. Butterball turkey that barely fits inside the oven, candied sweet potatoes with marshmallows, cranberries, potatoes, stuffing, not the dressing that Mom makes today, but real inside-the-bird stuffing. And, of course, a thick slice of pumpkin pie with whipped cream for dessert. That beats eel and black carrots any day. Those were Thanksgivings. Now, maybe we hadn't come through a horrible year back then of scurvy and starvation like the Pilgrims, but we also had something to be thankful for. We had food to eat and games to play and people to love. And we could say with Psalm 118, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." If you could time travel and leave 2009 and go back to an old-fashioned Thanksgiving of your childhood, would you? Or perhaps you would choose another Thanksgiving from your past. When Tammy and I were first married, we had no turkey, no family nearby to gather with, and our small circle of friends all had their own plans. We were poor as church mice and living off of 25-cent boxes of Jiffy cornbread mix and Quaker instant grits. That Thanksgiving, we splurged and we bought a Cornish game hen. Do you know what those are? They're those little birds that are about half the size of a chicken. No giant turkey to carve. No house filled with the laughter of friends and family. Just Tammy and I sitting at our little table in our dining room in our roach-infested apartment, eating our tiny little chicken. But there was a pecan tree